Good morning, everyone, and thank you for taking time out of your day to come and be here. My name is John Michael.
My name is Saeed.
My name is Zion.
Dennis.
But by a quick show of hands, how many of you would say in any given day you're always searching for more time to do something? That would be all of us. But on the talk of, yeah. So there's a quote by Charles Brixton that says, "You will never find time for anything. If you want time, you're going to have to make it." And that kind of goes to like what I was just saying. We are all searching for time in the day, and we're all trying to figure out where are we going to find this more time for the multitude of tasks that we have. So this is what we're going to be talking about today, time blocking. So what is time blocking? Why time blocking is valuable for entrepreneurs and for us as small, emerging professionals. Creating and tracking those time blocks, and then working when you're most productive. So what is time blocking? Time blocking in and of itself is pretty self-explanatory. It is taking a task that you would normally do and condensing it down into a singular point. That way, instead of it spanning across your entire day, you're just taking that task and putting it, say, at the beginning, end, or in the middle of your day. So a personal example for me, at where I work, instead of me looking at my emails throughout the day, because I get about maybe 100 emails anytime when I'm not paying attention to it, I just take care of those emails at the beginning of my day, so I'm not having to worry about it later on and potentially missing something that I should have seen that morning. But by condensing down that one task, you leave more time towards the end of your day to do personal things that you find enjoyable. So if you enjoy watching movies or cooking or hanging out with friends and family, you now have more time for that towards the end of your day, as opposed to if you didn't condense it down, you would still be looking at those emails at the end of your day. So I'm going to pass it on. Saeed.
Thank you, John Michael. So I'll be explaining why time blocking is valuable. So why is time blocking valuable? First of all, it allows for focus. Rather than working on several different tasks, you're able to group together multiple similar tasks, and that way you're able to get through those similar tasks and you don't have to worry about them once they're finished. Next, it helps you balance your priorities. So when you're creating your time blocking schedule, you're able to see what your priorities are and set your schedule according to that. So you could have your top priorities earlier in the day rather than later. That way, you don't have to worry about them throughout the entire day. After that, it helps you combat procrastination. So whenever you make a schedule of any kind, you have a sense of commitment to work with that schedule. And so I have a question for y'all. How many of y'all have heard of Parkinson's Law? One, already. So Parkinson's Law is basically work expands to fill the time of it for completion. So in other words, if you have a deadline, you're more likely to complete a task. For example, if we have an essay due this week, we're probably going to finish it this week. But if we have that same essay due at the end of the semester, we're going to take our time and wait until the deadline approaches to start working on it. And so after helping you combat procrastination, it helps you set realistic goals. So when you're setting up your schedule, you're able to look at all the tasks you have in any given day, and you can see how much time you need for each task. So you might need 30 minutes to check your emails, but 2 hours to complete your homework. And that way you're not overestimating or underestimating how much time you need for any task. Next, it helps you improve efficiency. And this ties in with allowing focus. So when you're working on similar tasks, you're using the same part of your brain, and that allows for deeper thought processing as well as concentration, while also minimizing errors from switching between tasks. And lastly, no room for excuses. And I mention this because when you're effectively time blocking, you're able to minimize procrastination while maximizing efficiency. And I'll hand it off to Leon.
Yeah, thank you. So now I will introduce to an effective method about time management. So we talk about the first one, create a time block. No one wants to mix up their life, so we need to use time block to manage our times. And time block it could help people to get more convenient life. besides establishing specific time for your priority and rest, make sure that you block out time for the thing that you really want to do. And as a student, you also need to create a time block for a homework assignment, and then you have time to prepare your exam. So, and the last important thing, make sure every time block keep on the track, don't mess up. And then we talk about the second one, using a calendar. Calendar is the good tool to plan and manage our time block. So we have two different types of calendar. The first one is a physical calendar. The second one is digital calendar. For the people who like the physical calendar, because they want to write down the important thing by hand, so they have memorized of that thing. But for me, I would like to use a digital calendar, just like a iPhone calendar. Because now is a mobile technology era, we have to carry the phone to anywhere, because we don't want to miss any useful information. So if I use iPhone calendar, so I will miss out my schedule. Okay, so now I pass the PowerPoint to my neighbor. Thank you.
Hi, so now I'm going to talk about people should work when they're most efficient or like productive time of the day. Alright, so most of us are taught that 9 to 5 traditional workday is when people are supposed to stop working. However, that's not always the case. Actually you can create a schedule that's based on when you're most productive. Let me explain what I exactly mean by you can create a schedule to work when you're most productive. So there are 3 types of people when it comes to working. People who are efficient or most productive early in the morning, people that are productive in the afternoon time, and of course the night people, they're productive in the nights. So if you're a morning person, you should definitely want to wake up 7 in the morning, because that's when you're going to be fully alert and focused, therefore that's going to be the best or most productive time for you to stop working. If you're a midday person, afternoons are best for you, and 1 through 4 p.m. is going to be the time for you to start working on your things, because that's when you're going to be most productive. And last but not least, there are night people, and so myself is a night people as well. And if you're a night person, probably 7 or 8 p.m. is going to be best time for you to start working on your tasks, because that's when you're going to be most productive. And also, one good thing about being a night person is, people are going to think that you're going to be sleeping maybe or tired in the nights, and you're going to be receiving less phone calls or emails, and that's, you're not going to be bothered as much as you would bothered in the morning or mid time. So, yeah, that's it.
Alright, so in conclusion, so hopefully by looking at the presentation, you now have a good understanding of how to take your tasks, condense them down, plan out those different tasks, and some different ways to manage them, and also trying to figure out when you work best. A good quote by William Penn: "Time is what we want most, but we use the worst." So hopefully by this presentation, you will use your time a lot better. Are there any questions?